Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Authors Go for Broke. I am so excited to have you here with me today. I have an amazing author. His name is Joffrey Wright, and he wrote an incredible book called Prime Numbers. And we're here to talk about it and talk about Joffrey and just his journey as an author. So, welcome, Joffrey. How are
Thank
you?
you. I appreciate you using the British pronunciation of my name, but I'm Americanized, so it's just Jeffrey.
Jeffrey. Okay, sorry.
No, don't be.
Jeffrey.
Don't be. You're actually in the minority. Most people don't assume that it should be the British spelling. My mother was just a fan of Geoffrey Chaucer. I've had people ask me my whole life, "Are you named after Geoffrey the giraffe from Toys R Us?" No.
Oh, I wish. That would have been great. Okay. I've been in France for too long, so I hear a lot of British things. So,
I'm
Jeffrey, I
sure.
apologize for that. It is
No,
so
please.
good okay. Well, thank you so much again. Can you just tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So my name is Jeffrey Wright. I live in South Texas, almost on the equator. We like to say we live in northern Mexico down here. It's hot all the time, but it's good for us that like to golf. Um, I've wanted to be an author since I was very little, since the first grade. I entered a writing contest when I was in the first grade, and I was a winner that got picked. And all the winners got taken to the University of Arizona for the day, and we got to meet with other authors, and they took our short stories and they published them in a book that was to be put in the library. And I've just wanted to do it ever since. I wrote various things over my life, and it was just try, fail, try, fail. Write something, put it aside. But where I am now, this my first book, Prime Numbers, it was really a labor of love to just some of the greatest people I know. They are my friends. We sat around the gaming table, are playing role-playing games for like 20 plus years. And one day I just thought, how cool would it be if we actually got to go into our gaming world and play our characters? And the idea was born from that and really the bonds of friendship and how they're unbreakable. Because the book itself, Prime Numbers, it's a play on words. It's the main character Primus, it's a play on him, but it's also the fact that with a prime number, it can only be divided by itself. And so with this, the friendships could only be divided by each other. And I started writing this. I had ideas. I would start it, I would put it down. I would start it, I would put it down. And then I grew older. I got a daughter, and she got into role-playing games. And I watched as she got into the same kind of things I did, and that reinvigorated me. So once again, I put it down, I started, put it down. And I finally decided shortly after she left home to go to college that I was going to finally write this. I was going to sit down, I was going to commit to it. So the first book took really almost 10 years to write from start to
Wow.
finish because I knew where it needed to go. I kind of knew a lot of the in between, and it was just getting all that written in there. But, once I was finally done, I kind of sat back. I went, that's finally done. Now I got to get to work on the second one because I can't leave it open.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
and I had a lot of people going, you can't leave me like that.
That's exactly how I felt. That's exactly how I felt. And I even emailed you and I was like, no, no.
Well, I will tell you. So the six main characters of the book are all based on real people and they're real characters.
Yes.
I called them all up and I said, "Hey, I'm finally going to do this. I'm going to write it. Can I use your characters? Can I use you?" And they're like, yeah, do it." So I wrote that, and the character of Darkwind, who in real life is Zig, he loves the fact that the second book has his name on it, and he's all over it. He's all excited about that.
I would be too. I would be too. Oh yeah, Darkwind was one of my favorite characters. Although there's many characters in here that I love for different reasons. You have so much depth in your characters, different emotions. I like how they each have their own kind of specialty, their own thing. Is that a lot like who they are as people in real life, or is most of that kind of made up, or like how much of it
Um,
is with RPG games? How much is real life, and how much is just your imagination?
So it's kind of a mixture of a lot of it because we put a lot of ourselves in these characters. Like I said, we played them for 20 years. That's why I knew these characters so well. The character of Dawn of Whisper, he is not near as aloof as you would think. He was our original game master, and we all took turns over the years. Randy, yeah, he's a lot like Simon. He's very much like Simon. And Zig is very much like Darkwind. Zig is very, he can be very chaotic at times.
I love it.
But he's great. I mean, he and I have just been, we've been friends for so many years and just got into so many different things together. His grandfather once told us, he said, I never worried about you two as long as you were together. And that was always cool. That's that friendship. And we all got back together a few months ago. Got in the same rooms, at the same table, and the conversations just went right back to where they were. The laughter, the joking with each other, all the personalities. And it was so much fun to sit down in person with everybody once again and talk about the book. And so there's a lot of each of us in those characters.
I think that's so beautiful. I really do. I think it's great that you can take your friendship and put it into a novel, and the joys of gaming that you obviously have done for many, many years, and the joy of writing. You like put everything into one thing, and I think that's incredible. It must have been so much fun. Although it
Yeah.
took a lot of time, you said with the 10 years off and on, so it probably felt like a chore at times, but reading it
Yeah.
now as someone, it just you can tell the passion, you can tell the history, and you can tell the friendship. I can tell that you're friends with these characters and that you know the characters just by reading it. And I am not someone who does gaming stuff, but I love to read and I love fantasy. It's my favorite. I love quests. I love the side quests you have with your characters, Shelby, the whole quest with that. I really loved your book. I really did. And I was so happy that your second one is out, correct? You have the second one out
hmm
now. And that
Yeah, it
just
came
came
out
out recently.
earlier this month on June 4th, which is actually my anniversary. It was also my late father's birthday.
Oh my gosh.
So that date was really important to me. And yeah, it was the second book, it came out so much faster. But I grew in between the books as an author,
Yes.
and I think the second book is better than the first one. I will always love prime numbers. That is my debut, but the second one really evolved the characters and really evolved the world, and that's kind of where I am right now in the entire world of Ominous is I'm world building. I do a lot of behind the scenes. When you watch a movie, if you were to actually visit the set, when you turn a corner, you're actually looking at the front of a cardboard box. You're looking at a facade. There's nothing behind that corner or around that corner. I'm trying to make things fit around those corners to where when you do turn that corner in Ominous, there's actually something there. I did a series on my Prime Numbers Facebook page that I thought was clever, and people can like it or they don't. But it was the behind the scenes. It's the people who clean up after these guys come through. I had an
Okay.
insurance adjuster walking through a damaged battleground area. I had
That is so fun.
I had a barge driver, I had a diver, I had a bar owner. And because I'm really trying to grow and evolve the world, because I want someone to be able to read the book and then find out, oh my gosh, there's a whole nother universe out there, and that's what I'm trying to build right now.
And I think that for authors can be so powerful because you can write, even if one series ends, if you build a world, you could even have a whole new set of characters and have a whole new series based still in this world that you created. So you could essentially have an endless supply of books if you want to
hmm
keep using that world. So yeah, world building is huge. It can be so difficult though. How are you as a writer? Are you one of those people that try to plan everything out and kind
I
of
do.
detail everything and then write, or do you kind of write and then edit like a mad person at the end?
I plan a lot of it out. I know because I'm hard at work on book three right now. And I have it mapped out, or let me rephrase that. I had it mapped out how that book was going to go, and then it kind of evolved. And then literally last night at 11 o'clock, I sat up bolt right. I said, wait. I know a different direction this book needs to go. I know how to, and it's now evolved because, and I got so excited. I started writing very early this morning because it's really changed where I've seen the direction because the entire plan is six books.
Okay.
Prime Numbers was Primus's book. The Darkwind Paradox is Darkwind's book. Book three is going to be Simon's book.
Okay.
Four I plan to be Khan's book. Five will be Whisper, and six will be Athena. So my original idea of where I was going to take book three, it kind of it was kind of I was sitting there thinking about it. I'm like, this isn't going to work because if I do this, I'm not building to the arc where I need to go to the end. I've already written the last of book six. I know where it's going to go. I know how it's going to end. And what I was going to do in book three wasn't going to lead me there the way I planned it. So I changed up some things. And then, like I said, literally last night, I suddenly got this revelation how book three is going to go. And I don't have to change anything I've written because it's very easy to adapt where I'm going. But it was just such a light bulb. Oh my gosh, hey, I've got this.
Oh, that must have felt so good. It must have
Yeah.
felt so good to have that connection. And I love that you're growing as an author. That's huge. And for you to even just announce it out loud is, I think, really big of you and like shows growth because it is a learning process and people don't maybe understand that so much, but I completely understand where you're coming from because you're not the same person as you were. You obviously had so much stuff going on in your personal life over those 10 years
Hmm.
that can be distracting, having a daughter, doing all these things. And so especially if you said the second book you wrote way faster, so that means you
Hmm.
were like in the zone mentally. So it probably just flowed really well, and I bet each book just gets better and better and better. And I think that's great.
Well, book two started literally as soon as I'd finished book one. I went through the initial
You'd have
edits
to.
and then I went right into it. And so book two took me roughly about a year and a half
Okay.
to write, a little less than a year and a half. Book three, I'm right now nine chapters in, so we'll see how long this one takes.
Oh, I'm so excited. Yes, I'm so glad the next I have to actually probably after we're done talking, I'm probably gonna go buy your second book because it was so good. And I was like, you guys can't end it like this. It's not fair. It's not fair at all. It was
Well,
not
and
fair.
it's so funny because one of my biggest fans is my mother. And she has read the book. She's read the first one. She's in the second one right now. And she's so funny because she called me one day, and you've read the book, so you know there's a spot in the book where there's a couple of characters where their life is on the line.
Yes.
We
Multiple
don't know what's going to
times.
happen. She called me up and said, "Are they going to die?" I said, "Mom, you're going to have to read the book."
I had the same thought with you. There's a moment with Primus, and I was just like, he wouldn't kill himself off, would he? Like, I was
Right.
like, I was like, no, I don't think so. Maybe I don't know. I gotta keep reading.
No,
Um,
I can spoil that. Primus isn't going to die. Primus. There's so much of me in Primus. Primus is everything I'm not. He's big. He's strong. But he's also Primus isn't super smart. He's just not. He's very street smart and he's very loyal. He will do everything he can to protect his friends. Everything.
yes.
And that's what I always loved about Primus. When we played the RPGs, I've talked about this. I think I talked about this at the end of this book. It may be at the end of the next one. Um, but the Sunday nights we spent at Heath's house or at Dawn's house or at Zig's house, we got to step away from life. When we first started that, we were all poor, didn't know if we were going to make our next bill, our next rent, but every Sunday night we were together and none of that mattered. We were just friends going into another world, and we could be people we weren't. We could step into those. And that's what was so powerful about this group is we were able to take our cares away for a few hours,
Yes.
and gaming with us, it's so funny. If we did a 6 hour gaming session, about an hour and a half, 2 hours was actual gaming. The rest of it was just
Oh
banter
yeah.
back and forth.
Just
Yeah.
talking, hanging out.
So yes, Primus is not going to die. I had to throw that in there in the first one because, and especially Darkwind is the other one that gets hurt very, very bad. Darkwind gets in prime numbers, what we affectionately called in the RPG world a sucking chest wound.
Mm.
He got that, and that was a call out to our old gaming sessions. There's a lot of inside jokes that came
Oh,
from the
I
gaming
bet.
table
I bet.
that were thrown in there.
I bet. I bet they just loved reading it. Did
Yeah.
any of your friends not like their character in any way, or did they
Oh
all
no,
love
they
it?
they all loved it.
Okay.
They all really really enjoyed stepping into the world and reading through it. One of the things for them, I told them all from the very beginning, they will never ever ever pay for a single copy of the book. As soon as I've got it ready, I ship a book to them, because they're a part of it.
Yeah. Yes. The huge part of it.
Hmm.
And I think you're so lucky and so fortunate. I think everyone watching this right now is like envious, or they're like grateful for the friends that they have, because it's very rare to have a group of friends. I have a group of friends that are like that. I grew up with them. I'm the same way. Unfortunately, I live far from them now, but just the same as you. Like the moment we get back together, it's like no time has passed. It's like
Yeah.
friends for life. It doesn't matter. But not everyone has that, and so I think it's so great that you guys had that and could get together every Sunday, no matter what, and do this. And
Hmm.
now you're making it expand beyond your wildest dreams.
Yeah.
So got your friendship in this group is just eternal, and I think it's fantastic. It's so great.
Yeah, and it's really the passion that's behind it is just because of what all those people meant to me. That's why I'm continuing on with this because I want this story to conclude logically. How it's going to go. I've already talked with each person and said, "Hey, by the way, this is how it's going to end for your character. I need to know if you're okay with this."
Oh, you're so good.
Not saying anybody is going to die, just how their character arc is going to end. I had to make sure that yes, you were cool with that, and all of them are like, "Yeah, this is great. It's perfect. That's exactly how I would envision it."
If I was Darkwind and you finished like Prime Numbers and that was the last book, I would have been like, come on, that's not how I go. So I'm so glad he's in the second one. So let me tell you, let me ask you, did you have a favorite character? Like as you're writing it, I didn't know at the time that you are dedicated full time. Was there any character that you just loved writing the most
Uh,
as a writer?
there, it's evolved. I mean, when I started it, Primus was ultimately going to be my favorite. But it evolved as time went on. In book two, I really connected with Darkwind a lot. There's a part in book two with Whisper, just an internal monologue he's got going on. I wrote that passage with Whisper, and I actually had to sit back and go, "Wow, that is the best thing I have ever written." Just that
Wow.
passage. So I had that connection with him. With Simon, I'm connecting with Simon on a deeper level with this next book. Um, and Athena and Khan I've always had a very good connection with. Khan is my oldest best friend. I've known him forever. But Athena, I've developed a whole new passion for. I love the person Gail. I love her to death. But her character Athena was always great. But I've developed a new connection with that character in the writing. And what is so funny is I've had so many people give me their favorites, but right now Athena is on the top of the charts. She is sitting
Really?
at number one. So many people ping me and they're like, she is a badass.
She
Well,
is.
the real life Gale agrees with that.
Of course. I mean, you'd have to. I would be so honored if that was my character. Any of the characters, honestly. I would even be,
Yeah.
I'd even be Cedric. I would.
Well, and so let me talk about Cedric for just a second. So Cedric is an interesting character.
He is.
Cedric did not come from our gaming table. Mr. Biolantis did, Shelby did, Rook did. Cedric was new, and I developed Cedric completely for the books. And to me, and this is how I always intended it, Cedric is you. Cedric is the audience. That's his goal.
Oh,
He's the one that's seeing everything from the 1,000-foot view down, looking on
I
this team.
love that. I love that.
So that's Cedric for me, and I really like Cedric. Dex is one that I developed for the book. Ortho, the troll, he came from our gaming table. Um, but yeah, Cedric has been kind of special to me as well.
He
I really like
is.
him.
He is. I was terrified that he was going to die and like protect Athena because he had this bond with Athena, and I was so scared that he was going to do something crazy to do that. And Athena's character, as you said, it is like in the beginning, at least in prime numbers, she was kind of more to herself a little bit. She was really feeling everything around her. She was more spiritual in that way. But as the book went on, she like her awesomeness just like kept coming out and out and out. Especially like the ghost scene is still like, bravo, sir, bravo. I was like, yes, this is cool. So yeah, your book is so good. And like I said, each character you could see the flow. Same with Whisper. Whisper, he was kind of this grumpy guy, kind of like, ugh, ugh. Like, like for everything, that's what I imagined him. Just have this like, ugh.
Well, now, okay, now that you say that, yeah, that's kind of Dawn.
Yeah, because that's how I imagined him. Just because he would always just be like, "Oh, guys, come on." But then his character also, I loved his character at the end and like everything that he went through and how he grew just in this one book. So I'm actually really excited for his book to come out and to read that one. I love Darkwind, Athena too. So like, yeah, each
Well,
character. I'm really excited you're doing a book for each one because
and
I like
just so
them
you're
all.
aware, I do have a Mailer Lite subscription list. And in that, if anybody subscribes to it, there's behind the scenes talk about the world building and whatnot. And I don't remember how long it takes before you get there, but after several emails, there's 4 short stories that you'll get for free. That's completely free.
Okay.
There's one called Shattered Petal, which is just a Primus and Darkwind story. There's one for Cedric and Athena. There's one for Simon
Oh,
and Khan, and then Whisper has his own.
yes. I'm subscribing. So tell people how to do that. Where do they
Sure.
go?
So I need to pull it up here. It is my Mailer Lite platform, and I'm gonna have to switch screens to get it.
No worries.
I'll send it to you as well, so maybe you can
Yeah, I
put
can
it
put it in
on
the
the
description.
screen.
I can also put it on the
Uh,
description if there's like a link or something so that people can just click on it.
mhm.
Yeah, because I'm
I
gonna have the
certain
book. Let me just show everybody real quick. I don't know if I did that yet. This is Prime Numbers, so this is the one that I read. As you guys know now, Darkwind is also out. The Darkwind Paradox is out, but I have not read that one yet. It just came out, and I didn't have it done yet. But I read this one, and it's so good. So start with this one, and then I can't even tell you you're gonna have to get the second one next because you're gonna do that on your own after reading this one. So you might as well just buy both of them right now, and I will have the link for both books in the description of this video, as well as hopefully this, so you can be part of his world, because you're not going to
perfect.
want to miss out. You're really not. It's so good.
And I appreciate that. You know, my whole goal with with the book itself is to entertain. I could care about nothing else but just entertaining. And what I really want, and I'm sending you the link to the
Oh, thank
subscription
you.
page right now. Like I said, it's completely free. I try to get updates on that, but there are 4 short stories that you get after a while. They come in straight into your inbox. They're short. I think the longest one might be 10 chapters long, but they're just kind of another view of the world. But what I would love with these books more than anything else is someday for somebody to pick up the book, read it, and hand it to someone else and go, you have to read this. That's what I want. I want people to see the world and see my vision of this world. And that's why I do so much on my social media. There's a video that comes out every night, 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock Central Time, US. There's a video that comes out, and some of them I think are funny and or I think are really cool. Right now, there's a an ominous Internal Affairs Bureau investigation going on about all the characters, and I've got files that go on, and it's just different things I'm doing to build the world. I'm actually thinking right now of doing a regular Friday night, late night in ominous TV show,
Oh,
where different
whoa.
characters might get interviewed and quirky things from around the world. Because I like the world build. I want people to be able to immerse themselves into the same world that I saw when we game. Because Don, who is the basis for the character Whisper, was a phenomenal game master. He was our longest running game master. Absolutely phenomenal. Taught me so much about doing it because I was our second game master. I did it after he did.
Okay.
Zig took over for a while. We don't talk about that. Zig didn't go very well. Not that he wasn't good.
Poor
It's
Zig.
just
He had too much
oh,
of
and
his.
he gets so mad about it because he developed this giant monster that he was ready to throw at us, and I was it Whisper? I think it was Whisper at the time. Literally just took a belt of grenades and pulled all the pins and threw it into a box, and it blew up the monster. And Zig
But
was
that's
mad.
such a Darkwind thing to do.
He never GM'd again. And then Randy took over for a while, and then when COVID hit, we all got back together over
Oh, good.
Zoom and we gamed over Zoom, which was really cool because we all stepped back into that world again. But yeah, I want people to fall in love with the world, like I have, and I want people to see different facets. In book three, where I'm headed right now is we're going to start to see some other pieces of the world because Ominous itself is a city. It's one city now. It is a continent-sized city. There are
Okay.
billions of people who live in Ominous. It's huge. But there's a world around that. And because of events that happen, the characters will be leaving Ominous and going to other places. And I want people to be able to see that. I want people to be able to see the world and enjoy the world and live in it like I do in my head.
Right. Do you have plans to have it all like mapped out for people to see? Kind of the
I
map of
do
the
I
world?
do have an initial map of the world. Matter of fact, I'll send that to you too.
Yay!
I do have an initial map that I made of the world, just kind of how I saw everything. It pretty much maps out really well
Good.
where the different continents are because you do get introduced into one of the new countries in the second book. There's a pretty major event that happens and the second country comes in. But yeah, I do want a chance to be able to have the readers be able to go to different places and see the world. The world as a whole is called Varanthos,
Okay.
and there's an elven country, there's an orc country, there's a troll country, there's a dwarf country, there's a humans only country. Because Ominous is very diverse, every different type of race. Now, other races can go into these other countries, but they're dominated by those particular ones, and they all have histories. Um, in the Mailer Light, I went into some of those histories.
Okay. Yeah, you're speaking my language. I am obsessed with fantasy. That's what I love to read the most. So all of that, it sounds right up my alley. That's exactly the kind of books I love to read.
Awesome.
So yeah, and for prime numbers, like I said, I have not really done any games. I did one time play D&D with some
Hmm.
people, but it was I kind of joined and there was already a group and they have already done it a lot. And you can just tell there's bonds that happen with people who regularly play together and stuff like that, and it's like
And it
I
can
just didn't
seem
quite get that
daunting.
connection just at the beginning.
Yeah, and it can seem daunting at first because Keith and I were friends first, and when I had left Texas to go off to, I went off to Arizona to go to college for a little while. Um, he was looking for some new friends, and he found some people at a local comic book shop that were looking to start some games, and that's how he met Don. Well, I moved back to Texas. I got introduced to Don. Well, Don's roommate at the time was Zig, so I got to meet Zig. And then Don also knew Gail, so he introduced us to Gail. And then through some other connections, we knew Randy. And so we had gamed throughout that time, and some different people came in, and we've had some other people's come in and out throughout the time. But we all just slowly evolved to each other and built to each other and bonded with each other. So sometimes it just takes some time.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I did not give it enough time. The people watching, my friends know. I'm sorry, I didn't. I didn't give it a chance. But it's okay. You know, everyone has their things. For your gaming, when did you start gaming? Did you start that as a kid, or like what kind of games
Sort
have
of,
you done?
sort of. So when I was a kid, was just on the tail end of Satanic Panic, where there was a big movement against D&D because it was evil and it was
Yes,
satanic. And
I
so I kind of was on the tail end of that in the early mid 80s, but I didn't have a gaming group back then, but I wanted to learn it. And TSR at the time came out with a Dungeons and Dragons box set that had that you had the ability to do solo. And I was like, I used to love choose your own adventure games, and I'm like, I want that. And so my parents got me that D&D set, and I loved it. I fell in love with it, and I would play and everything, but I didn't have a gaming group. It wasn't until Keith introduced me to into role-playing games back in 93 or 94. It's somewhere around that. That's when I really started into it because we played various games. We played D&D, we played Shadowrun, played GURPS, we played Savage World, we played Marvel superheroes, DC superheroes. I mean, we did a Firefly, all these different games that we played. But that introduced me into it. So really, the 80s is when I was introduced into it. The 90s are when I really got into it. And like I said, we played for 20 years. Um, and so it's a love. It's something that we absolutely love doing. When we got together at whoever's house back in the 90s, it was go to that house, watch Star Trek Next Generation, game for the next 6, 7 hours. Order pizza.
or pizza. That's a must. You have to do
Yes. Yes.
that. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And tell me a little bit about just the process of writing the book. So after you wrote it, what did you have to go through to get it published? Was that journey a
Wow.
lot harder than you anticipated? Because as a first
Yeah.
time writer, it's like it's a whole foreign thing.
Yes. So anybody who has never gotten to the point where they're ready to publish a book, the one thing you learn very quickly, you are going to read your own work more times than you're going to want to read it. It's like, oh, I got to read this one more time because there's a new edit. And, because I went through and I edited it myself. And then I went back and changed things and edited it again. And then I got to a point I'm like, I need someone else to look at this.
Yes.
So I drafted my wife first, and God love her. She, we playfully argue about this all the time. She's a big supporter of me with this. But I'll tease her because she'll say something about the book, and I say, "You never finished it," and she's like, "You don't know that," and I said, "Yes, I do," because our relationship is so good. She would say things that she was noticing in the book, and I would go, well, yeah, but that's not quite how it goes. And she kind of took that as a defense mechanism, and so she kind of shied away from it. And it wasn't that I
Okay.
was angry at her at all. I was trying to explain how I understood it. So she has read it kind of bits and pieces off and on. But then I got Ziggy and I said, Zig, I need you to read this. And so he read it. He would send me some edits back. So then I'm going back and I'm rewriting. And I eventually got it to everybody in our group. and had them all read through it. They would send me back what they liked, what they didn't like, go through that, edit. By the time I was ready to actually publish, I probably read the book 15 times at
Oh,
least, because even once I sent it, because the the prime numbers, I had no clue how to publish it, none. And I contacted a company. I did research, and I contacted a company, and I said I need some help with this. So they agreed to help me get it published. There was a fee involved, yes, but they agreed to help me get it published. And this is what they offered, and blah blah. So I sent it to them to edit. They then went through and edit, and I'd have to read it again. I'd send them back, things that I noticed. And then finally we got to the publish point. And what was for me the greatest thing was the day I said, "This is it. I don't see anything more we need to edit. We're good to go." And they said, "Great. We're printing your author copy now." And the day it arrived was
oh
just
my gosh.
beyond. It's sitting up here on my shelf right now. I'm looking at the author copy. It's behind glass.
Oh, you put it
And
behind glass. That's beautiful.
yeah, it's behind a glass case, and the Darkwind Paradox author copy is right beside it. My copyright is in a frame below that. I mean, this is my
Oh,
my shrine.
you
You
deserve it.
actually
You worked so hard on it. It deserves to be like it is a trophy, you know? You
you,
worked
you
so hard.
actually can't see behind me because of my screen, but I have pictures of all the main three characters up on my wall behind me too.
Okay. I love your screen and I even feel like does do you have the prime numbers on your coffee cup or your cup that you were drinking, your teacup? I swear I saw it. Yes.
Yeah.
So how did you get all the did you just get some stickers made or something like that?
I did
That is
this
so cool.
through Printify.
Ah, okay, okay.
Printify, and they did that. I've got behind me it's going to be hard to see in the picture, but it's that background I have behind me on my coffee
Okay.
mug.
I see it. I see it.
So yeah, I had it done through Printify, just some merch because it was a celebration thing for me. It's like this is mine. I created this, and I wanted something
Oh
to signify it.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's my
you spent
coffee cup I
10
drink out of, my
years doing
teacup.
it too.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes.
Do you ever do like author meet and greets where you sign your book and try to hand stuff out?
I
Any
haven't yet.
conferences?
We're talking with my local library, and I'm working with them. I'm going to donate several copies to them, so that we can do a meet and greet in my area.
That's great.
Anybody who lives down here that knows me that's purchased the book, I've signed it for them. People brought it to me and I sign it. But I'm hoping to get some of those meet and greets done fairly soon.
It's kind of hard to get into them. It's very competitive, but
Hmm.
I really recommend it because I think your books are so good. They're gonna just fly off the shelf, and you're so great to talk to. You're so like, if I saw you at a booth, I would definitely come up and talk to you and buy the book. Look at you got a great smile and everything. You're ready.
Well,
You
I
can sell it
appreciate that.
all.
I appreciate that. It's
And
it's it's a joy to me.
yeah, and you're so good at talking, and I feel like that you have a podcast, right? Let's talk about that a little bit. Now, which
So
one of your friends do you have a podcast with?
Zig, um,
Zig. Okay.
yes, yes, he and I have the podcast Nerdery and Murdery, which was it was how that came about. Zig and I have worked together off and on for years in various things, and he and I were. It was very funny. We were working for this one hospital system, and he left and went to another. I left that one and I went to another, and then the hospital system I worked for purchased his, and so now we're working together again. And um, but he and I were sitting in my office one day with who would eventually become our producer, William. And William just used to sit there and listen to Ziggy and I talk about nothing and everything. And he said, "You two need a radio show. You really do." And I said, "I want to do a podcast. I wanted to do that for a while." And so then we started talking about what are we going to do? And Zig he wanted to talk about everything under the sun. And I was like, "I don't want to do that. I want to talk true crime. That's what I like." And he goes, "I do not want to talk true crime." And I'm like, "Well, what do we do?" And then I think he was the one that said, why don't we merge them together and be this weird little podcast? And so Ziggy covers half of it, the first half, where he covers pop culture, movies, TV, video games, books, comics, um, board games, role-playing games. And then the second half of the show, I take over and I do murder and true crime and serial killers and everything like that. Right now, I'm doing an A to Z through America of serial killers, state by state, one at a time.
Yes.
And so it's a weird little podcast, but it's so us. It's how we are because it's really the podcast came from our gaming table too, because this is just the conversations that we would have sitting at these tables because we used to in our gaming world we used to call it the window of opportunity, and we would literally do this because we would be gaming, and then somebody would tail off on a conversation, and suddenly 10 conversations down the road somebody would go, okay, gaming time, here's our window of opportunity. And that's where the whole podcast came from. So we decided we're going to do it, and then we were like, okay, what do we name it? And our can I swear on this show? Because I have to swear here.
Sure,
If not, I
sure.
won't. So our initial name for the show was "Please Hand Me That Piano." Random shit you never hear. And then we're like, no, that's just way
That's
too
long.
long.
That's
That's way too
long.
long. And I don't know how it popped up, but just one morning on the way to work, it hit me. I went, nerdery and murdery. That's perfect. And I told him, I went to work and I told him, he goes, that's it. That's our show. That's our name. And so we kept it. And I mean, what episode came out Sunday? Sunday's episode was episode 255. So we have done over 5 years of this show. Matter of fact, our episode
Wow.
252 was our 5 year anniversary. And we're still going strong. We didn't know if we would have enough material for 6 months, but 5 years we're
Yes.
still going. And and every 2 weeks, Zig and I get together over Zoom because we live in completely different cities now. But we get together over Zoom and we record 3 episodes every 2 weeks. So when you hear an episode, we're like 12 weeks in the past.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we're way, way, way ahead. But that allows us to keep going. And it's so fun because we log online about 8 o'clock in the morning and we record till anywhere between noon and 1
Oh,
every other
wow.
Sunday. And it's a lot of research that goes into it. We've met so many neat people. We've met people from other podcasts that we've done crosses with. We actually, I think it was earlier this year or late last year, we did a three-way crossover with two podcasts and did one
Wow.
show over the same episode, the same subject matter, and it's fun. We enjoy it, and the fact that literally he and I could for so many years, we could go out on an evening, we could hit a bar, we could hit a restaurant, didn't matter, whatever, and just sit and talk for hours and hours and hours and hours. It's natural to us to do that still. I can listen to him talk about his stuff. Now, what's funny is, with the exception of episode 10, because episode 10 is where we started this, every 25 episodes, we swap. And he does the true crime side, and I do pop culture. And
Really?
it stresses him out so bad to do the true crime. He's like, I just don't like this. And so
It's hard. You'd have to
it's
do a
very
lot of
hard.
research for that.
Yes, yes. And he is focused mainly on historical things, like he did the Armenian genocide not too very long ago, and he's done some very historical stuff because that's a little easier for him to go into details than the stuff I go into, which is just so dark and brooding. And there are people that we have people that are like, man, I love listening to Zig. Jeffrey, I can't listen to you, man. You're too dark. And there are people that are like, man, I love that true crime, but I can't listen to
There are
Zig
some
ramble on.
true crime fans. That's why Netflix is all
Oh yeah.
about the true crime documentaries and things like that, serial killers things.
Yes.
It's all gotten. There's a big fan base for that. So,
Yes.
and I subscribed to your channel like when we first met. So I actually have listened to a couple of them, and I remember the first time I was like, nerdy murdery, like what is this? Okay, and then I was like, okay, here's the nerdy part, and I was like, and here's the murdery part, and then I was like, how does this work? Because it just doesn't seem like it goes together at all. It shouldn't work, and yet it does. So
Yeah.
it's there's something very cool and special about your friends, your group, everything that you're doing. It is, like I said, it somehow just works. So yeah.
Yeah,
So
we know how weird it is. We really do. And that's just us in a nutshell. And Don's been on the show, Pete's been on the show. Randy's never been on the show. I don't think Randy's really interested in doing that. Randy,
does he like
like I s
cigars? Like in the
Randy
book?
doesn't. No, Randy does not at all. He
His
doesn't.
character always had cigars. Did
Oh
you
yes,
add,
Simon
did you
always
make
does.
that like a little,
I added that because I always envisioned Simon that way. So that was an ad I did for sure.
I
But
love
no,
it.
Randy is really cool. But Randy is not someone who is going to get outside of his comfort zone and talk on a podcast. That's just not him. He just wouldn't. He loves getting into the conversation, but that's just not him. I'd love to have Gail on the show at some point. She hasn't been on, but Keith and Dawn have both been on the show. And we have so much fun. And he's so funny. He's sometimes he can't even listen to the show because he even admits he's like, yeah, you two have this every week, and I'm not a part of it. And I'm like, well, you can come on every week. He goes, I don't have the time.
It's only like 6 hours. It's not too
Right,
bad.
right. But yeah, so like I said, that's where I said Simon is very, very much like, and Randy are very, very, very alike in a lot of ways, and that actually is going to come into play in the books,
And his
how
book is
alike they are.
the one you're writing
The
right
third
now,
one,
the third one.
the third
Okay.
one, which currently, and I don't think it's going to change, is called Threshold Protocol.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I
And
think
real quick, I'll tell you this. The opening scene of Threshold Protocol was originally the very first scene for prime numbers, and then it didn't fit. So I just set it off to the side. And then when I started book three, I'm like, yep, it goes here.
oh,
That's where this
perfect.
scene goes.
That's perfect. No, I will admit that as a reader with prime numbers, I definitely the Primus, Darkwind, Whisper, and Athena were my main ones. I think Khan and Simon were a little bit. I felt like I just didn't know a lot about them as much as the other characters,
Yep.
and so I would actually be really excited to read their own book. Now, are all the characters present in all the books,
Yes.
or okay,
Yes.
okay, good, 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 good. I was, if they have their side quests, that's fine, but I like them staying together, so that's
Yes.
good.
They very, very much so. Um, I don't want to ruin anything. The Darkwind paradox is very interesting. I told you about my mother. She reads the book. She actually called me. She said, I don't understand. And I said, okay, Mom, what don't you understand? And she goes, you're going to have to explain this and this to me. And I said, yeah, I can kind of see where you are. Trust me, it gets there. So,
Did she read prime numbers first?
yes. Yeah.
Okay, okay. All
Yes,
right.
yes, she read it and she couldn't be a more proud parent. She tells all of her friends, "Look, my son." I went to visit the same weekend that we did the get together for all of us. I went because she lives up where I used to live, but I visited her as well, and she had to take me around to her friends. This is my son, the author.
Oh, that's so good. That's cute. Oh, that's so cute. Well, hopefully she watches this. Hi to your mom.
Yeah, she wants to know, so I think she will watch. She wants to know when this is out.
And I'm really glad to have met you, and I really love your book. Like I said, I'm going to show everybody again. Prime numbers, this is the first one. You guys, and the links below in the description. You guys have to buy it, okay? So go ahead and get it right now, and then you might as well get the second one. I have the second one linked as well. I will also have his Facebook group mentioned. I will have some little things, maybe if he sends me like his map and things like that. We can put that in there as well as his podcast. I'll have a link to his podcast on there, so you guys can just join everything, join your world completely. I hope everyone does join everything.
I appreciate it. I have had such a great time. You've been a wonderful, wonderful host. I love your show. I've been watching, your episodes as well.
Thank you. I'm
Um,
growing. I'm new. I only started this past April, and I swear every time I do it, I'm learning with every author. I'm getting less scared. I was really nervous the first. I like shaking and stuff like that. Like I was like, oh gosh, okay, let's do this.
so
But it's getting better.
when we did our first episode, actually when we did about our first three episodes of our podcast, I'll swear to you, I blacked out doing it. I was such shake voice, and I can hear it when I go back and I listen to those, and the audio was just not the greatest, and but I could hear it in my voice. I was shaking out. I swear I blacked out.
I feel like I did too. I my very first one was Rue's Easter Quest, and it was just a children's Easter book. I said like we're gonna start off easy. We're gonna just do a children's book. I'm gonna dip my toe in the sand here or in the water. And yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I was terrified the entire time, but Julie, the author, she was amazing, and the whole thing was just great. And like I said, each time I get like more nervous and then less nervous, and I don't know, somehow I feel a lot more comfortable. Like you said, it takes practice, consistency, and
Absolutely.
yeah. But I really thank you so much for watching the videos, and I hope you continue. And yeah, and I would love to have you on again. I definitely am going to be following your journey, and with all six books, they're going to be on my shelf. Don't even worry. If you get that sale from France, it's going to be me, plus the
Awesome.
other people that I share it with, because I'm going to be sharing this with many people. So
Well, I can't wait to hear what you think about the Darkwind paradox when you get through it.
yes.
Feel free to ping me if you're in the middle of it and go, all right, what's going on here?
I will. I will. I love it.
Feel free.
Thank you
I
so much.
You bet. Thank you for having me. I've had a fabulous time.
Thank you so much. I hope you have a really wonderful night and we'll stay connected.
All right, thanks. Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Bailey.